space to Earth, Earth to northern South America. Then a hard drop into a black lake where lightning keeps tearing the same wound in the sky. One flash, then 5, then a wall of white veins crawling across clouds. A fishing hut appears for a second and vanishes again. Water reflects a strobe that feels alive. Thunder rolls late, like footsteps in a hallway you can't see. This is Catatumbo, where darkness never fully settles, where the night is not a background but a battlefield, and every strike feels like the atmosphere is warning us to turn back. At the mouth of the Catatumbo River, over Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela, the planet's most concentrated lightning hotspot locks into place like a machine. Satellite-era climatology put this area at roughly 233 flashes per square kilometre per year, with extreme density zones reaching about 250. Some datasets describe around 140 to 160 active storm nights annually. Others, depending on method and period, push that number toward nearly 300 nights. However you measure it, the message is the same. This is not occasional weather. This is repetition, precision, and electrical violence returning to the same sky again and again. After sunset, the basin switches on. Bursts can climb from about 16 flashes per minute to around 28, and in intense windows, even higher rates are reported. The storm display can run for 9 hours, sometimes closer to 10, as if dawn is the only force capable of shutting it down. Cloud towers pulse from inside, then forked lightning rips outward over open water. There is no calm middle, no gentle transition, just long stretches of pressure light and thunder. You don't watch this storm like a tourist. You endure it like a witness testifying to something too large to name. Its persistence became global headline material, then a record. Catatumbo entered Guinness as the highest lightning concentration on Earth. But the terrifying part is how focused it is. Researchers mapped a compact core, roughly 5,500 square kilometers, where annual lightning density remains exceptionally high. Think about that. Not a whole country, not a giant continent-wide belt, but a tight, stubborn chamber in the night that keeps producing power. Like a heartbeat visible from orbit. Like one room in a house where the lights never stop flickering and no one can find the switch. The mechanism is brutal and elegant. Warm moisture rises from Lake Maracaibo and nearby wetlands. Humid air feeds in from the Caribbean. Then mountain geometry, Andes and Perijá ridges, helps trap and steer flows so that cooler night winds collide with that warm, wet air mass. Lift grows, towers build, charge separates, and the sky starts firing. Night after night, the same ingredients, the same collision, the same ignition. It is meteorology, yes, but shot like horror. A basin-shaped engine that reloads itself in darkness and discharges over water until morning. Even this relentless storm has a pulse. Activity generally rises through the wet months, with strong seasons from roughly May to November and major intensity around October. Other analyses show twin peaks around late spring and late wet season, with clear troughs in January and February. During those low months, the lake can feel like it is holding its breath. The clouds look ordinary. The horizon goes still. But the silence is never comforting here. It feels temporary, like the pause between two sentences spoken by the same dangerous voice. The light is visible from far away, historically said to be seen from up to 250 miles under the right conditions. enough for sailors to use it as a natural beacon. That is how legend was born. A storm as lighthouse, a warning that also guides. Old roots, oral histories, and modern retellings converge on the same image. Ships orienting themselves by a thunderstorm that kept returning to one corner of the map. Beautiful from distance, threatening up close. A compass made of fear and photons, standing where river, lake, and mountain winds negotiate every night. If Catatumbo feels supernatural, it is because it sits at the border where science and myth can both survive. Numbers give us confidence. 233, 250, 297, millions of strikes, seasonal peaks, low season lulls. But the body reacts before the brain finishes counting. Your chest tightens on the first close strike. Your eyes chase the next flash before thunder arrives. You understand physically what maps only summarize. This basin is one of Earth's most efficient nighttime electrical theaters, and every performance is both data point and warning flare. So, what is Catatumbo lightning really? A climatological engine, a historical lighthouse, a regional risk, a global record, a recurring argument between beauty and danger. It tells us what happens when water, heat, mountains and wind lock into a stable pattern of instability. It also tells us how fragile even iconic systems can be when drought and large-scale climate shifts interfere. You can call it a marvel, a menace, or a miracle of atmospheric geometry. But once you stand under that flashing sky, one truth stays with you. Night is not always dark. And if this was the sky that never stopped striking, the next story is the ground that moved without footsteps. Next on Off the Map, Death Valley, sailing stones, rocks sliding across a dry lake bed, carving tracks with no visible hand, as if the desert itself moved them in secret. If you want more places where nature behaves like a ghost story, written in real physics, like and subscribe, because the map gets stranger from here.